How are you, Mr. Mike Rowe?
I'm good, Mark. How you doing?
Doing great. Like I mentioned, we know a lot of the same people in common. The show blew up over 15 years ago, and every day since then, I've been trying to get some dirt on you. I've asked everybody we know in common. I've been trying to ask them for dirt to dig up something, and it turns out, resoundingly, you're a good guy. Everybody loves you.
Opinions vary, but there's no real smoking gun out there. At least I don't think there is.
There's not. And speaking of crew, what I love about this new reinvention of Dirty Jobs, you take the crew with you. It's kind of all about the crew. You put them in the spotlight more often than not.
Well, look, you've been in this business long enough. You know it's a band of brothers mentality always, even if you're working in a studio. But when you're out in the real world and you're in dangerous places, uncomfortable places, and you've got cameramen and an audio guy and a producer who sometimes go into the hole before you do. They were an essential part of making this show, not just from a production standpoint, but on camera. Because the making of Dirty Jobs was a dirty job, and getting them in the show was an important thing for me to do in 2005. And putting them back in an RV in 2020 at the height of COVID and driving around the country with these knuckleheads as we look back and recollect and reminisce on our favorite moments from the show. It was a great thing to do, and exactly what we all needed to do after 4.5 months of sitting right here doing Zoom TV. Oy.
Yeah, don't get me started about that. Well, you talk about these knuckleheads, but what people don't know, you have cinematic trained director photographers running your TV show. So how do you get these guys, award winners, to go down in the sewer?
We kind of Forrest Gumped their way into it. They didn't know what they were signing on for, and really, neither did I. I did 3 pilots that I wanted to dedicate to my grandfather, who had done all these jobs, and this back in 2004. And nobody thought it would be a show. Nobody imagined it would be a hit. And nobody dreamed it would ever be a franchise. But all of that happened because after the first episode, thousands of people sent me letters, not saying, oh, you're great, or boy, we love the show, but you ought to meet my dad. Wait till you meet my grandfather, brother, sister, uncle, cousin, right? People were anxious to share their journey in work. And once I realized that, it became clear that this was the horse that was going to run. And the crew, they didn't know what they'd signed on for. But suddenly, yeah, they were out in the world with me, and they could have easily stepped back and said, that was fun, get somebody else. And we did go through several iterations. But the core guys, Doug, Jones, Barsky, and Troy, they've been with me through it all. And so when it came time to look back at the show seriously, I didn't want to do it without them. So the network was great, got us an RV, we hit the open road, and the results are on the TV tonight.
And on the Discovery app. All right, since you're on my show, a movie show, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what's your favorite movie of all time? Your go-to during the pandemic?
Good question. There are a couple when I stumble across I can't turn off. Shawshank Redemption is up there. Cool Hand Luke is up there. But believe it or not, I think Jaws is a damn near perfect movie in so many ways. And even though I have literally memorized the entire script, if it were on right now, I'd probably get up and walk away from the interview to watch it. No offense.
No offense taken. Mike, we're going to need a bigger boat.
That was an improvised line, by the way. Wasn't in the script. That was Roy Scheider.
I'm crying that you know that. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. Good to see you.
You got it.
All right, there you go. Such a good guy, Mike Rowe.